And welcome back to Hannity. So last night, WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange made news on this program when he announced that he'd reveal and release several batches of documents related to Hillary Clinton, possibly as early as next week. Here's part 2 of my interview with him. Let me go to the Hillary issue for a second. You did refer to or liken her to a demon, which I found amusing. But then you went on to say the American liberal press is falling all over themselves to defend Hillary Clinton, erecting a demon that is going to put nooses around everyone's neck as soon as she wins the election, which is almost certainly what she's going to do, meaning if she wins. I don't think anyone can accurately predict right now which way this election is going to go. That's my own personal opinion. What did you mean by that?
Well, it's a bit taken out of context by critics like the New York Times. I wasn't talking about Hillary Clinton as a person, but rather the climate that they are erecting. It is a demon, that climate. If Hillary Clinton is elected, then they have legitimized a climate of calling opposition leaders Russian agents, calling critical press Russian agents. Her campaign team has done it both for Mr. Trump, for us, for the Greens candidate, Jill Stein, and for The Intercept, another small investigative publisher in the United States. They are legitimizing that climate. When the New York Times is a kind of standard bearer of the liberal press, says that's an okay thing to do for a ruling party candidate to come out and say that the opposition leaders and the press are foreign agents in order to turn around a domestic scandal, that's a really serious problem.
You know, I give you more credit than those in the liberal press. For example, I'm a commentator. I am a talk show host. I openly tell this audience I have strong conservative opinions, but I would expect objective journalists to be doing a lot of what you're doing. And you're right. I think they're unwilling to do that because they've got a political agenda in play. You have talked at length about other information that you have that you will be releasing to the American public prior to the election in November. Can you give us any insight about that information? Do you think it will have a dramatic impact on the electoral results?
I don't know about the electoral results. You know, I'm quite cynical about politics, or skeptical about politics, as I'm sure you probably are as well, Sean. Things can happen in interesting ways. I do think that the material that we have, that we're working on around the clock, is significant, and it's up to people to look at it and run with it. Now, I'm sure Fox News will run with some of that, but in the DNC leak, yes, we saw the resignation of 5 of the top DNC officials, including the president. But did the New York Times run with it? No. Did MSNBC run with it? No. In fact, MSNBC, Politico, and NBC were exposed as conspiring with the DNC to subvert Bernie Sanders' campaign. But people in the United States came to our website. Some good journalists also came, and it was the public that really took it up and pushed it. So I hope that will happen again.
You said you were going to release more information before the election on November 8th. If you had to maybe rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being most significant, how significant is it?
Well, there's not just one type of piece of information. We have thousands and thousands of records. So each 100 records gives you a story. You have to kind of understand each story, and that is a lot of work to format it, to verify it, to put it in particular batches to be released. WikiLeaks is tax deductible in the United States. If people want to try and help us do that, we're a small outfit that has been attacked by the Obama administration for 6 years now in an investigation that has been condemned by Human Rights Watch, by the UN, even by the ACLU.
You have said that if you had information on any candidate, you feel the public has a right to know. Do you have any information, any batches, if you will, on Donald Trump?
We have information which touches on the Republican Party's campaign. In assessing that information, we will publish it, of course. But, Donald Trump he makes very controversial statements. He doesn't have a history of being in government.
He doesn't use email, you know that, right? He doesn't use email personally.
I'm sorry?
Donald Trump does not use email personally.
All right. Probably a wise choice.
Let me ask you one last question on the morals and ethics of this. I actually do applaud, you've exposed a lot about our government that I am appreciative of as a citizen, because I think there have been things that have been going on that we need to know about, and I hope it wakes people up. Where do you draw a line in terms of the right to citizens, private citizens, or, you know, people even in the public to have privacy?
Well, look, we publish information from political parties and governments. We're not interested in the information from private individuals unless they're billionaires or trying to manipulate or drive the political system in some way. So people don't need to worry about WikiLeaks being interested in that. But for these big corrupt organizations, you know, dodgy politicians and so on, we just say what they say. If you've got nothing to hide, you've got nothing to fear. What's their problem in the public knowing the truth? Because that's all we publish. There's no allegation that we haven't been completely accurate.
That's 100% true. Like somebody like George Soros would be on your radar. He's trying to influence elections. He's trying to impact the political process.
We will be publishing quite a lot of information about George Soros. It has already been published elsewhere, but in an unusable form. That's part of what we do as well, is take records that are extremely hard to use, like some of the State Department records on Clinton, for example. You can't search them properly. So we create this wonderful library of how modern institutions actually behave across the world, in the United States, in other countries as well. We've published 650,000 documents on Russia, most of them critical, 2.3 million about Bashar al-Assad and Syria, including even his personal emails.
And coming up, we have more reaction to tonight's Commander-in-Chief Forum. We'll check in with A.J. Delgado, Lisa Booth. They're here next as we continue. Glad you're with us on Hannity.